I had been counting down the days for my sister's wedding, imagining her in a white gown, the music, the laughter, the whole family together. Excitement bubbled in me as I dressed carefully that morning, choosing something neat but simple, feeling like today everything in life could finally feel right. I called my mom to confirm a few details and see if she needed help. Her voice sounded unusually calm when she picked up. "Hi, Mom. Are you excited for the wedding today?" I asked, trying to match my enthusiasm with hers. There was a long pause. Then she said, almost flatly, "Wedding? Sweetheart, that was last week." I froze. My heart skipped a beat. Last week? That made no sense. I had been planning, imagining the ceremony, the cake, every detail. How could she say it already happened? "Wait, what do you mean it was last week?" I stammered, panic rising. Mom sighed. "You missed it. Everyone was there. Your sister looked beautiful. But you weren't invited. Were you too busy?" A cold, sinking feeling took over me. My own sister's wedding, and no one thought to tell me in time. "Mom, why? Why didn't anyone tell me?" My voice trembled. Silence. Then she said softly, "We thought you'd handle it differently. Maybe you didn't care as much as you said." Didn't care? That line struck like a knife. Every effort I had made to be part of their lives, every sacrifice I'd done, they saw it as nothing. I ended the call, my hands shaking. Then a thought struck me, sharp and sudden. If they thought leaving me out would hurt me, if they believed I'd take it quietly, maybe it was time to remind them who I really was. I began looking back at old messages, invitations, little hints I had ignored. It became clear this wasn't a mistake. They had deliberately excluded me. Every excuse, every misdirection was meant to keep me away. Rage boiled inside me, but I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I smiled quietly, calmly. That smile carried a promise. If they thought they could erase me, they were wrong. Revenge doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be chaotic. It only needs to be precise, inevitable, and unforgettable. And for them, it was coming. The confrontation and escalation. I spent the next day thinking, planning, observing. My family had underestimated me, and that was their first mistake. They thought excluding me from the wedding would hurt me. But I realized it wasn't just about missing a party. It was about control, manipulation, and being overlooked for years. That evening, I visited my sister under the guise of casual concern. She was cheerful, still glowing from the wedding festivities. "You missed a lot," she said, smiling. "It was beautiful. Everyone said you should have been there." Her words stung, but I kept my calm. "I know," I said softly. "I just wish I had been informed in time." She looked puzzled. "Informed? Mom called you, didn't she?" That's when I realized the truth. My mom had kept the entire thing from me. Every call, every message, every invitation, it was all carefully hidden. They had deliberately excluded me. I left without another word, but inside, the fire had ignited. This wasn't about weddings anymore. It was about respect, about making them realize they couldn't manipulate me so easily. Over the next few days, I began quietly collecting evidence of past manipulations, messages, overheard conversations, even small favors I had done that were never acknowledged. Each piece strengthened my resolve. Then, my mom showed up at my apartment, pretending everything was fine. "Honey," I thought maybe we could have lunch together. Talk things over. I smiled, calm and quiet. "Sure, let's talk." At the cafe, I handed her a small folder of records, proof of all the ways I had been excluded, ignored, and misled. Her eyes widened as she flipped through it. I didn't realize," she stammered. "You didn't realize?" I asked, voice steady. "You deliberately kept me away from my own sister's wedding. You think that's okay?" Tears formed in her eyes. "Fear? shock, and disbelief mingled in her expression. She had underestimated me, thinking I'd take it quietly. But now she was seeing the consequences, calmly, precisely, and without my losing control. I left the cafe, knowing the next move was mine to make. Revenge wasn't about anger. It was about showing them the weight of their choices. The stage was set, and soon they would understand. I knew it was time. Weeks of planning, observing, and gathering proof had led to this moment. My mom and sister had underestimated me, believing I would quietly accept being erased from the most important day of my sister's life. They had no idea how carefully I had been preparing. I invited my mom to lunch, insisting it was just the two of us. She arrived, smiling, trying to keep the mood light, but I could see the unease in her eyes. I placed a small folder on the table. "Mom, I need you to see this," I said. "Everything, every call you avoided, every message you deleted, every excuse you made. It's all here." She glanced at it nervously. I didn't mean to, I interrupted gently, but firmly. "You excluded me on purpose. You thought I wouldn't notice. You thought I would just let it go. But I don't let injustice slide, especially when it comes from family." Her hands trembled as she held the papers. The confident, controlling woman I had grown up with looked small, uncertain. For the first time, she realized that she had underestimated me. I didn't yell. I didn't demand anything. I simply let her feel the weight of her choices. I let the truth speak for itself. Tears welled in her eyes. I understand now," she whispered, voice barely audible. "I never thought." "Exactly," I said softly. "You never thought I'd act for myself. But I did. And from now on, my life isn't something you can control. Respect isn't optional, it's necessary." She sat there silently, realizing that the power balance had shifted. For years, I had allowed subtle manipulation, guilt, and exclusion to define my place in the family. No more. Days later, my sister reached out, hesitantly. "I wish you had been there," she said, regret in her voice. I didn't respond immediately. I wanted her to understand that actions have consequences. I walked away from both of them, not with anger, but with clarity. I had reclaimed my life. I had protected my hard work, my time, my peace. And in doing so, I had sent a message. Underestimate me, and there will be consequences. The most powerful revenge isn't about drama or humiliation. It's quiet, controlled, and precise. It's making people face the results of their actions without losing your own integrity. Weeks later, I saw them from across the street, mom tending the garden, sister inside. They looked up, hesitated, and I smiled calmly. No words were needed. The lesson had landed. My life was finally mine. And for them, the realization would stay with them forever. Because revenge isn't about hurting others. It's about claiming your strength and ensuring no one ever undermines you again.